Look at this cute baby hippo. Isn't he just adorable? This is Hector, the orphaned hippo. He's just 3 weeks old and weighs anywhere from 35 to 60 kilograms. But for a hippopotamus, South Africa can be a brutal place.
After a long drought, this little fella was found dehydrated and abandoned on a dried up riverbed.
He was exhausted. He was just, you could see in his eyes, petrified. It was heartbreaking. Hector? Hello, my boy.
Emma has been trying to get him back to full strength, doing everything she can to get him back to the wild.
Hi, I'm Kyle Thomas, and this is Wildlife Heroes. I'm here in South Africa meeting some amazing people working to save our Earth's wildlife.
I've been spending time with this amazing lady called Emma.
Hello, sweetheart.
She runs a rescue and rehabilitation centre here in South Africa called Umoya Khulula, looking after orphaned and injured animals. From baby hippos and warthogs to the world's most trafficked mammals, pangolins. Obviously, you're an expert in the world of pangolins, and you've had a lot of different animals through your door. But tell me about Hector the hippo. I mean, you wouldn't imagine that the same person feeding tiny little mongooses is also looking after one of Africa's most dangerous animals.
Yeah, Hector was the first hippo I ever worked with, and yeah, I had no idea what to do. I rang a lot of specialists, they helped me, and then it was a huge learning curve, but it was the most amazing thing.
Today, Emma is checking up on her new patient.
Okay. Oh, so this is little 3-week-old Hector. I knew on the phone that he was small, but I have to say, when I saw him for the first time, I didn't realize how small this little guy is. He was found all by himself in a dry riverbed without his mum. The guys did monitor him for a couple of days to see if his mum was going to come back, but unfortunately there was absolutely no sign of the mum, so they decided they were going to intervene, and he came to us. He was exhausted. He could take a couple of steps and then he would just collapse on the floor. He was just, you could see in his eyes, petrified. You can have a little look here. He's got some scars on the back and some wounds on his face. This might be because he's fought with some others or maybe running through the bush being scared. We're not quite sure, but they are healing nicely now. Come on, sweetheart. You don't realise hippos actually can be this small. When you see this little one all by himself, it was heartbreaking. Yeah, so comfortable. But we're in the position now where we can help him, and that's an amazing feeling.
Hector may be really cute now, but Emma knows that he'll grow up to be very big and very strong.
I think actually the first thing I did was run to the shop and bought about 20 litres of milk. So Hector gets fed, gosh, about 5 times, and with each time about 2 litres. In his milk, there's actually a few things we're putting in to make pretend mummy hippo milk. Their milk is really, really rich, so we have to kind of convert that into the things that we have here. And then lastly, the secret weapon. Egg yolk is amazing, and it is protein all the way. And then we heat it up. When a hippo is drinking from the mum would not be ice cold, it would be a nice warm temperature. So we just make sure it is. This also helps the tummy, and he prefers it too. Hector, are you ready for your milk? He honestly didn't love the teat. So we were getting small amounts down, but not enough. So then we tried the bowl, and it was like magic. Ooh. This works for both us and him. It basically means that he's not going to see us humans as such a food source. So it's great with the rehab process for him. And you can see he's drinking so well and he's getting plenty in. So it's a winner all around. He was just slurping and slurping and slurping away. And when we all saw that, we knew, okay, that bit's sorted. We'll move on to the next
With hippos spending as much as 16 hours a day in the water, the next step is a vital part of Hector's rehabilitation.
You ready, Hector? To get him in is not the easiest in the world. Don't get arsey. Nice, Hector. He fights, he does all of this, and then when he actually gets in the water, he's as happy as Larry. Water is absolutely so important to hippos. They need it for their skin. This is where their habitat is. He feels a lot more comfortable when I am in this water. This is the comfort he would get from his mum. He's only 3 weeks old. He would be literally playing with her, staying close with her. He wants to touch the skin, know that he's safe. He's starting to be cheeky and, playing is the last thing they're thinking about when they're sick. So you know if you've got them to the point where they are playing around that they're doing well.
Emma hasn't always looked after hippos, but she was inspired to build an enclosure for them after being called out during a drought to a rescue in a storm drain.
We had a call about a 7-month-old hippo, baby hippo, that got stuck in a water canal. So when we got there, we could see he was very stressed. He'd already been in there for 2 days. He was absolutely exhausted. He hadn't eaten anything or drunk anything from his mother, and really it was becoming a bit of a dire situation. Our first aim was to just trying to get him out of the water in the safest possible manner. He did not cooperate. He was just so scared. So we had to dart the hippo, and then we lured him into a box to take him out of this very steep canal onto the shore. Unfortunately, we did not have the facilities to take in a hippo, so we did have to ask a friend if we could use his facilities to house the hippo while we were just monitoring to make sure he was good to go back to the wild. Yes, we can help with relocation, but we cannot bring them back into the centre if they need that kind of treatment. So we decided, new project for Umoya, let's build a hippo boma.
The rescued hippo has now returned to life in the wild, but it spurred Emma on to build a safe house for other hippos in need, with Hector due to be resident number 1.
A boma basically is a very strong structure that we can house animals in, and we need this kind of structure for animals such as hippos. So you're just doing the last poles now, and then we'll cement them in like these bad boys, so a hippo won't be able to destroy them. Even the young ones, the 6-7-month-old, these are strong animals and they can break down fences. They're going to test this boma to the limits. So this needs to stand their testing. No, I don't think a hippo's going to get through this. I think we've built it nice and strong. You need water. Hippos, in the day are submerged in the water and they need it to survive. So you need a nice dam in there that the hippos can submerge in. We just need to dig it so the hippos can actually walk into the water and it's not such a descent. They can get in, but they struggle to get back up. Then we're good to go. The time has come. So now we're confident that medically he's good. Now we can take him to that next step.
The next step is for Hector to become the first to experience Emma's brand new hippo boma.
I think it's time to try him in the bigger enclosure and in the bigger pond. He has then the decision, if he wants to go into the water, he can go into the water. If he wants to graze, he can graze. Obviously, we'll be there to support him. We'll still have to be giving him his milk, but it's him then growing himself as well, which is really nice, and it will be really interesting to see what he does. Good boy. Oh, here we go, Hector. What do you think? Yeah, you can see that he's a bit nervous, a little bit apprehensive, having a good old sniff. Nice, Hector. Shall we go and see if we can go over by the water? This is when you wish you could understand what's going through their heads right now. This is exactly what we were hoping for, and that we haven't had to push him in, and he can play and roll around and be a baby hippo. It sounds very strange, but hippos don't swim. They glide at the bottom. This is perfect. This is what we wanted to see. And then when they do exactly what you want them to do and what's so good for them, you can start breathing a sigh of relief, and you know that's one more step going back into the wild, which is perfect.
The next few weeks are going to be critical for Hector and Emma.
I think Hector approves of the new hippo boma.
Rain has descended on this part of South Africa and the landscape has completely transformed.
Hector?
Little Hector, who I'm completely in love with, is now enjoying his own purpose-built enclosure and cooling off in his big pool.
Hello, my boy. Hello. So Hector is 8 weeks old now, and he is doing so well. Yes. Ooh. And he's getting very strong and boisterous. Oh, and he down. He has so much personality. He's like a little boisterous little boy. He likes to bulldoze into you and push you around and test you and see how far he can go. But then on the other side, when he's a bit tired and knackered, he comes for his hug and for his comfort and his support. He feels comfortable. He feels good in himself. He feels healthy. Yeah, he's just going from strength to strength.
Hippos are the third largest land mammal after elephants and rhinos and can live up to 40 years old. An adult hippo can weigh up to 3,200 kilos, which is the same as 2 sized cars or 40 fully grown adults.
So Hector has now got 8 little baby teeth. They're coming through, and that means he's starting to graze a little bit more and becoming a lot better at it and actually being able to pull those blades of grass and mud right now off.
Hippos have these crazy canine teeth. They reach up to 50 centimeters in length, and their bite is one of the strongest of any land mammal. He won't be doing this to Emma for much longer. They are one of the most dangerous animals in Africa and have been responsible for many human injuries and even deaths. This is because they are highly territorial and will aggressively defend themselves and their young.
If you accidentally come across one, they are aggressive. They get scared, and because of their size, we don't stand much of a chance. So we have to have a really healthy respect of them. Hey, you show your teeth. You are. There's a place for them, and then there's a place for us. But Hector, you have to remember, is only 8 weeks old. In the wild, he would be with his mum full time as that protector. So at the moment, what he sees me as mum. So he's getting a lot of interaction. It really calms him down. He feels safe and protected. But we only do this if we're cleaning or if we're feeding. We always make sure that there's a reason that we're in the enclosure with him, and then he can have the time with us.
Sometimes rehabilitation can be a dirty business, and today is definitely one of those days.
So we're just gonna go and check on how the water is doing in Mr. Hector's pond. So yeah, I can see it's pretty green. Because it is a man-made pool, we do need to clean it out every week. Normally they would be in the rivers or big bodies of water, but because it's quite small, we obviously want it nice and clean for him. He also goes to the toilet in it, which is not so nice. So I've got my good old team, and we're gonna scrub this bad boy.
Hippos are found in sub-Saharan Africa, hanging out in rivers, lakes, swamps, and floodplains to stay cool and protect their skin from the strong sun.
He absolutely loves it when we're in there cleaning. He thinks he's helping. He is very entertained by us scrubbing his poo away, I believe. This is the really non-glamorous side, if you want to say, of rehab. plus you've got a quite large hippo trying to give you an old kiss or stand on you or try and take your scrubby brush. So it's not easy to do, but it's necessary. And then he gets nice fresh water in there, which is nice to see him in the clear water. His pool is nice and clean. We've scrubbed it all, so now we're just going to fill it up. Then he'll have a nice clean pool for him to be cool for the rest of the day. Let's have a look. Well, it's beautifully clean. I can actually see the floor, which is lovely. I am going to get Hector in the water now because he's not been in it for a couple of hours because of it being empty. So I'm going to get him in and get his skin all moistured up. Come on, Hector. Should we go into the water? Look how beautifully clean it is. So hippos don't actually swim. This is a real common myth that they swim along the rivers. They don't, they walk. They kind of boing along on the bottom. They can see underwater. They have a film that goes across their pupils so that they can see underwater, but they can only hold their breath for so long. An adult hippo, about 15 minutes, which is amazing. Hector's at about 5 minutes, which is really good for his size, and every day it gets longer and longer. Yeah, they just kind of glide very gracefully, I must say, as well. They're absolutely amazing animals, and they use their size and their strength. That's what they have on their side. And with him, he had so much fight in him as well that he worked with us nicely and we came out of it doing very well. So hopefully we're looking at 5 to 6 months old. We can get him back out into the wild and then reintroduce some lady friends.
Lady friend, not quite. I caught up with Emma after his release and she had discovered something very surprising.
Hector is a girl, so we got a little confused at first, I'm not gonna lie, and we all thought she was a boy, so that's where she got Hector from. And then we were like, oh no, but her name stuck, so she kept us Hector.
Where's Hector now?
So actually, Hector is in the river behind you.
In this river?
In this
right
river.
By the centre.
Literally a stone's throw from the centre. So everyone did think I was a little bit crazy.
I think that's a bit crazy.
A little bit crazy. So Hector was joined by another one in rehab, Hugo. And when it came to time for release, we were letting them into the river and then back into their boma. And then I thought, there's no hippos in here. This is actually the perfect place. So we decided, well, let's make our own pod here. And then a big bull male came in and decided, hello, I like this.
Oh yes, because Hector is...
a lady.
A lady, yeah.
And then we had a few others join in, and then they've actually had a few babies, and Hector herself is now a mum, which I'm so proud of her for. So now there is 11 in the pod, and they do not come near us. They're not habituated whatsoever. They're still a hippo, so I'm not going to go near them. Don't get me wrong.
You're not going wild swimming in here.
Absolutely not. But they are free to live and roam and just be absolutely wild and free hippos. And their pod is going to expand, and is that not the whole point?
If you'd like to find out more about Emma and her work at Umoya Khulula, then click the link in our description. And if you're loving Wildlife Heroes, then make sure to subscribe. We have incredible wildlife content coming every Thursday. Amazing people helping amazing wildlife. We have giraffes, rhinos, pangolins, and much, much more. So subscribe now and see you next time.